The age of super teams is over. The power of friendship reigns supreme in the Eastern Conference, and the Indiana Pacers, the same Indiana Pacers that started this season 10-15 through their first 25 games and then finished it 40-17, are headed to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years. And of course, the Thunder will be heavily favored, but this is a Pacers team that has what it takes to take them out. They have a ton of scoring and not just one or two guys that the Thunder can bottleneck. Tyrese Haliburton is the engine, no doubt, but Pascal Siakam has been the leading scorer, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and is averaging 21.1 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, and 4.3 assists so far during these playoffs. He gives them a whole other level of versatility, and really he might be the most slept-on star in the NBA, because nobody really talks about him that much. And he's just out there quietly putting up big-time numbers. 54% shooting from the field, 46% from three, on 4.3 attempts per game. He's 6'8", 245 pounds. So he gives you a level of versatility that really hurts other teams, right? He can step back and knock down the three ball if he gets a mismatch, like right here against Jalen Brunson. He can run out in transition. Good pass from Nesmith and then a nice little Euro. I expect him to see Chet a lot in the next series on the defensive side of the ball because just Chet's more versatile as a defender, and then Miles Turner will be faced off against Isaiah Hartenstein, where that could be a mismatch they could attack. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. Tough half-spin fadeaway right here. I mean, yeah, Pascal, he's got it all going, especially in the mid-range game. He can knock down the three ball. He can do it all. Tyrese Haliburton. He exposed Karl Towns in this series in the pick and roll, just dicing him up over and over and over, so much so that the Knicks were allegedly frustrated with Karl-Anthony Towns' lack of defense. That's a really nice pass right there. In the playoffs so far, Haliburton's averaging almost 19 points and 10 assists to go with about 6 rebounds per game. He's also doing this while hitting a lot of clutch shots and also shooting 46% from the field. Only 33% from three is a little bit concerning, but remember, he did shoot almost 39% from three on about 7 attempts per game in the regular season. Versus the Knicks, he's averaging 21 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2.5 steals per game. And of course, like I said, the signature moment in Game 1 and taking Indiana to the finals. This is really one of the bigger Cinderella runs in the NBA's history. It kind of goes up there with 2011 Dirk and Haliburton's ability to read a defense. Watch him draw Jalen Brunson in before kicking it to Nembhard in the corner for a wide open three ball to push the lead up to 12. He's dynamic in the pick and roll, like we said, and then out in transition, keeping Deuce McBride off with the left hand and then faking out Cat and getting right to the rim for the dunk. And then right here, just operating in that mid-range area, coming off of this screen, snaking it well, and then keeping Mikal Bridges on his hip one, and then also attacking Karl-Anthony Towns coming downhill. That was something I really thought the Celtics were going to do in the last round, but it turns out Haliburton did a better job. Finding Miles Turner right here with a slick pass, and then once again, working off the pick and roll, attacking Cat. He abused him with this little floater game, this push shot, which is something that Tatum and Brown didn't really do a very good job of, was hitting that mid-range shot. It was 3 or nothing for the Celtics, and Haliburton showed why the floater is still such a big time part of basketball. Getting downhill, finishing with the right there. That's a tough layup, gets it to go. And then once again, another floater. He's got one of the best float games in the NBA. This is a play they really got the Knicks with a lot. Trying to target Jalen Brunson on this stagger screen and roll. They get the switch there for a second, and then now they're getting back downhill, and he finds Obi Toppin for the big time slam. And then one more time, Obi Toppin up top, the lob. That's kind of an OP play because you just throw it up anywhere near the backboard and Obi can come down with it. Now, Aaron Nesmith was huge offensively, of course, in Game 1. Also huge defensively, locking up Jalen Brunson in Games 2 and 4, and then playing pretty good defense last night as well. He has become the primary point of attack defender for them this year, and he's also averaging 14.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 1.7 stocks in the playoffs so far. But yeah, that Game 1 run is going to be legendary. People are going to talk about that forever. I mean, so many threes down the stretch. I believe he had 8 that night. He was 8 of 9. And these weren't easy shots either. He shot 50% from the field, for the playoffs so far, and 50% from 3. Again, moving to his right, that one cut it down to 5, and then later on, off the dribble, this one cuts it down to 2 off balance with 22 seconds left. Ridiculous shot. That might be the craziest basketball game I've ever watched in my life. And then you got Myles Turner down low. We talked about it earlier. They got Siakam, who can operate on the perimeter or down low. You got Turner, who they can hit him when the other team is blitzing the pick and roll, and he can make a read out of it, reads the defense beautifully right here, and finds the cutting man backdoor for the dunk. Then right here, being able to knock down the 3 ball. So far in these playoffs, Turner is averaging 15.2 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 2.3 blocks. Throw out the narratives that he's washed on defense. Now, of course, he's getting set up a lot by Tyrese. That was a heck of a pass right there. And then also being able to take the smaller defender into the post so you can't throw a guard on him. He's shooting 52% from the field and 40% from 3-on-4 attempts. And, I mean, this Pacers team is stacked. This is Myles Turner, a guy that has an absolute burner, and he's like the 5th or 6th option most of the times on offense, because these are ridiculous shots. This is heat check after heat check against the Cavs in the game where they just absolutely pulled their pants down. And man, shout out Myles Turner, because he is one of the more underrated bigs in the league. And then Andrew Nembhard, renowned playoff riser. At this point, he's averaging almost 14 points per game in the postseason. 5 assists, 2.8 rebounds, 1.6 steals in 28 minutes per game on 47% shooting from the field and 48% from 3. 4.3 attempts per game. Getting into his bag a little bit, getting to spots and knocking down 3 balls. In the regular season, he averaged 10 points per game, 5 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and 1 steal per game. In the playoffs, we just looked at it. Much better numbers. He also only shot 29% from 3 in the regular season on 3 attempts compared to 48% in the playoffs. It's been ridiculous. He was huge in the first 2 series of the year. Not quite as big in this Knicks series, but still a huge part of what the Pacers are doing. You know, having a guy like Nembhard coming off the bench. They can go get his own shot at any time. And then you got these guys. Guys like Obi Toppin, Ben Mathurin, and heck, everybody's favorite white boy in Indiana, TJ McConnell, actually second favorite behind Larry Bird. Ben Mathurin, over his last 3 games, is averaging 15.6 points a game, 3 boards, and an assist in 15 minutes. The last game, he only played like 9 minutes after back-to-back 20 balls. I mean, having this guy, there's so much depth. Having a guy like that barely even plays, they can come in and absolutely fill it up. In the regular season, he averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds in 30 minutes per game. And yes, he's still a young guy, but he's proved he can fill it up. The regular season numbers may be kind of empty stats because the efficiency isn't the greatest, but still, back-to-back playoff games in games 4 and 5 where he showed he belonged out there. And then you got Obi Toppin, who can come in and flip a game at any point. A great cutter. You see the cut right there, right in front of DeLon Wright as DeLon Wright's trying to get to the corner. He's averaging 9 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game during this postseason run, being able to knock down the 3 ball, shooting at 50% from the field and 28% from 3 on 3.6 attempts per game. And then also, like we said, being a decent defender. Last night, Obi had 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 25 minutes. And you'd be a fool if you said that he did not impact this game off the bench. He had a huge impact off the bench, and he has that ability to come in and be able to change games from that bench unit, just a spark plug on the bench. Now remember, he is 6'9", so he can alter shots, and he's got that 7'2" wingspan. So obviously he's a fantastic athlete, can go dunk on any and everybody. And like I said, you throw it up and it remains within the area of the backboard, it's probably going to be a dunk if Obi's going to get it. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.